He bet the river. It looked a little bit weird in the sense that what hand did he actually had that he checked back the turn and he bet the river for value. Like, yeah, he can have something like king, queen of diamonds, something like that. But that's very little. And I blocked some stuff. So I think I ended up calling, but I'm not really sure about it. He took the full house of hate. So, hard to say if our call was correct or not when he had that hand. The fact that he's stabbing 8 on the flop tells me that he might be a wider next bet on the river, so maybe the call is fine.
I disagree with his analysis there. He said it's hard to tell if our call was incorrect when he actually had that exact hand. Well, that hand was a hand that was in his range. I think we should go back to the point where we're ranging him on the river. We have two data points that we can introduce here. One is the inclusive data point of the mass database analysis that I brought up last time, which is the bet check bet line gets notoriously underbluffed. The second one extends back to pre-flop, where we had a read that his range was strong and well defined to begin with, and the 8 on the river actually improves that range substantially because it'll give him some boats. We have another data point here that went undetected. It wasn't shown in the video, but Villain actually bet 1/3 on the flop. That places him in a confidence interval where he's got more merge bets in his range than if he used a more polarized sizing, so 8s actually makes up a higher fraction of his get to river range in that case. It also substantially lowers the amount of bluffs he could have, especially in a multi-way pot. These guys that are going around using these small merge bets like 1/3 stabs, especially with players behind them, that's usually a face-up range. They're not balancing that well. So if we use that last bet sizing data point, we can use it even more to support our initial data points, which was that this is a middle position player with a tight range who's reopening in a bet check bet line. He didn't even have enough bluffs on the flop, most likely. So it only intensifies the confidence that he's imbalanced by the time he reopens on this river, and I think we actually have a really clear fold here. This hand's a great one for stacking up the context because we're using a couple positional data points with bet sizing data points in a multi-way pot data point, all of which are subtle but mean something, and when combined, they actually mean a lot. Now I'm going to replay his final thought process, and you're going to see how silly it seems in the light of the new data points.
The fact that he's stabbing 8 on the flop tells me that he might be a wider next bet on the river, so maybe the call is fine.